Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the RCCG VHM Malta podcast. In case you're wondering what VHM means, it's Victory House Malta. So we are a church here. It's redemption, the RCCG Church in Malta, and this is the podcast we hold from time to time. We started the podcast last year, and then we had about two episodes talking about my awful story. Well, this time around, we're going to be talking about something different. And we're in the month of February, which is the month of love. I think we all celebrated Valentine's about over a week ago. And some of us got posted on WhatsApp, some of us didn't. Some of us got flowers, some of us didn't. Some of us have, loved ones here and there, and some of us don't. But this time around, we're going to talk about, love, relationship, and everything in between. But today we're going to be focusing on faith in relationship. And why we chose this topic is because these days now we have people who are very afraid to commit, people who have been hurt before in the past, people who have just different mentalities about relationship, and most importantly, I think social media are sort of coined these unrealistic expectations from people, and then people have this expectation from partners and whatnot. But today we're going to be talking about all of those things here on the RCCG Vision podcast. With me, I have two very interesting and amazing guests. I think people from our church will be very excited, especially for the guests we have. I have with me here Pastor Bola. She is the pastor in charge of RCCG DHM. And then I have Bro Damilare as well. Please just say hello to.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Don't worry, guys. It's our first time on camera, so we're still getting used to it. But yeah, just give us some breathing space. We'll get handled with as time goes on. Anyway, so I'm going to be asking our guests, a couple of questions regarding relationship, how the journey has been for them. And most especially, we're seeing it from a married perspective because these people are actually married and, they've gone through so many heartbreaks, I think. They've broken people's hearts too, I think. And, everything in between all of that. We're going to hear from them in a moment. So I have a few questions here. But firstly, I'd like to thank both of them for coming on the podcast. If you know our pastor, she's a very, very busy woman. So outside, pastoring, she has things she does as well. And then for Dan Larry for creating the time as a family man. I'm sure his kid is probably somewhere crying and waiting for daddy to be back home. But yeah, thank you guys for coming on the podcast.
Thank you so much.
All right, cool. All right. I've just got an icebreaker question here, and I'll just ask you, Brother Minari, in one sentence, can you describe what a healthy relationship is?
Okay, for me, thank you for the question. For me, a healthy relationship is one where there is trust, there is integrity, and there is transparency. That is a healthy relationship for me.
Okay, thank you. Also,
Okay, thank you for that. To add to what Bro Damilare said, for me, healthy relationship is a relationship where there is a continuous communication, no break in transmission.
okay, interesting. Those are quite powerful responses, and as much as they are very impactful, I think they can be dive deeper into, especially communication and all the other properties that are attributed with a healthy relationship. So I've got a couple of questions that's going to give us or that's going to break that down for us. Pastor, why do you think so many young people are losing faith in relationship today?
Mm.
So I have 5 different categories for you to answer that one for me. Right. So I have the social media pressure, the comparison culture. No, don't worry, I'm going to read it again.
Yeah, right, okay.
Fear of commitment, trauma from past relationships, people who haven't healed, and then lack of spiritual foundation. So we're going to start from the first one, which is the social media pressure.
Okay.
Yeah, so looking at social media, why do you think so many people are losing faith in relationships today?
That's me?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Um, uh, Basically, I think social media has affected our life in general,
Mm.
and it's like, let me say, Gen Z. We depend mostly on social media accreditation in life in general. Your to make wealth, to you for how to run your life. Everybody just go there, you copy what is there, and you know, voila, you think that's how it should be. So that has also affected love, marriages, home, because we tend to always get we comparison. We see what we tend to forget that whatever we're seeing out there is not the real thing.
Yeah.
I would never want to put the backside of myself out there. It's always a good one. It's rare before you see anything bad out there. Even if I'm going to wear clothes, I put on the best clothes. When I was coming today, I feel like, well, even this is not my best, but I want to look best because I know I'm going on a podcast. So everything looks nice. We see couples. I've seen couples that comes online, they show us, even these are counselors, that counsel married counselors. But then there was a broken marriage. And when they came out to say the other side of the story, they said, though you see us doing these things, but there is a real life reality behind cameras. So I'm going to tell us that it has affected us. I'm going to say a bit of positive, but most of the young couples, they tend to depend on it a lot. Oh, see my friend husband, see what how he does for the wife, but not knowing what goes on in their in their abode, in their secret places. So it tends to, I would just say, we compared to the olden days, we don't have social media kind of, our parent does not really depend. It is just the advice of their parent. You go into your father's house, your husband's house, you do this, you do that, this is how you do. We rely on what we were told. And some of them were able to always bring that to their memory. Oh, my mom said this. My mom already told me this is going to happen. Your sister-in-law might not like you, but even your father's your father's sister didn't like me. This is that. They listen a lot to stories and instructions. But nowadays we tend to face the beauty of social media, and then we go into marriage. I was telling somebody, a lot of us go into marriage with this Romeo and Juliet mentality, because when you're in courtship, the guy is always all over you. The girl does this, but then voila, you think you're going to be in control. No, the story changes, and that's what happens sometimes.
Thank you very much, Pastor. But I'm Larry, can we hear from your own?
Okay, for me, I would say social media has given a room for comparison.
Yeah.
All right, and people choose to follow and check what their desire would go for. Because, for example, if I want my fantasy, let me use that word. People want to follow their fantasy. Why? Because you desire something. You want a man who will bring breakfast on bed, bouquet with dollars in it, and all that. Those are fantasies, right? And my wife usually says something that reality dawns on you when you are in the house. All right. So people would want to follow that. And based on that, they start comparing who they will go with and who they will not go with. Because there is a foundation of fantasy as against reality that social media has given to them.
All right. Thank you very much. I think social media, people these days sort of tend to rely on social media and they use it as like a blueprint of how they want their relationship to go.
Exactly.
Because so person is doing this for their partner, they expect their partner to do the same thing. And that sort of shaped people's mind in a negative way where they become more over demanding from their partners, less understanding because they've seen things on social media and they fed their mentality with something very toxic. Thank you very much for that. Now, you mentioned something about comparison. So if we are going to do a comparison culture where we sort of look at it different, because we just looked at it from the social media perspective now. If you look at it from a comparison culture of this one's off social media now, you're looking at another person's relationship,
Okay.
right? This is physically now, not online now.
Yeah.
I say, okay, this is what it's similar to social media. Or how would you? I don't know if you have any experience with, something like that. How would you explain it? Why people are losing faith in relationship?
Okay, all right. I'll use a similar experience. There's a couple back in Nigeria that seeing them, coming to church, fancy car, fancy outfits, taking pictures. A lot of person keep saying, God, when? God, when? God, when? Because on the outside it's so beautiful, like so amazing. But down the line, some rumors and hiccups started picking up, all right, as regards the husband and all those things. I got to hear, and I told myself, I said, we shouldn't just deal with people on the outside until you get to know them before you can really say you want to compare. And comparison, even if you compare, you should compare based on the standard and qualities that you desire for your own, not compare on the old paparazzi and all that.
Yeah.
Okay. And down the line, thankfully to God and support system, that home will have been broken. All right, because on the surface, they still come to church holding hands, but back at home, they are like just flatmates. Okay, so we shouldn't we should be mindful of the things we desire when we see people. Yes, we covet people lovey-dovey outside, holding hands and the likes, but it goes way beyond just holding hands. We try to get close to them and learn the core things that are making them not just the surface. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Pastor, do you have anything to add for us?
Yeah, Brother Miller is very correct. But I think we can still see it on the other side because most of the things physical now, because that's not social media. So on social media, I might not be able to speak to you, to assess you.
Yeah.
You live in the other part of the world. But if it's somebody that you see physically, we can tend to just get closer because I see them, maybe in the streets, maybe in our church, at your place of work. I think that might affect in another way, not negatively, because these are people you see that you can easily, if you're interested, you can just walk up to them and have a question, or maybe you just, oh, hello, I love your outfit. Maybe getting to ask a question might give you an hint. Somebody might, a person like me, I might be able to guess if somebody laughs sarcastically. Like when I ask a question, I'm like, okay, is it okay? Like, is it what you want? You can, sometimes you will see and feel like, I think this is just something that we can see outside. That is one way to read. The other way is that you get to know them, ask questions, and you'll be able to understand how it's going, how it's working for them in their, since they are people you can actually walk up to speak to.
Sure.
I mean, you can't harass people, all right, but step by step you get to know, because these are the people maybe you love what you're saying and you just want to get to them, gradually take a step and see how you can approach the person, and then you get more knowledge from it.
All right. Thank you very much. That was very insightful. I think just like you Pastor said, Pastor Timora Padua, he said something not too long ago about he and his wife. People see them to be very lovey-dovey outside, but no one has an idea of if they just had to fight the night before or not. So even though seeing is believing, I think there's some things you don't see, you need to believe as well behind the scene. But yeah. So now we've seen why young people lose faith in relationship. I'll say offline and online social media, and offline, the comparison culture of seeing people physically. Now, we would like to talk about why young people, have a fear of commitment. So they see someone they like, but they just have this fear of, I don't want to commit into this. I just want to enjoy it while it lasts, but I don't want to commit fully. I still want to do some other things and have some form of freedom there. Why do you think people have fear of commitment?
Okay, so I can relate to that, and for me, I think first is it phobia for taking up responsibility? I was once like that. I had this phobia of I don't want to take any responsibility, so I don't want to be committed. All right. I use this word, I want to be free as a bird. So I do what I like, I do what I will, and I'm not accountable, I'm not responsible for anything.
Yeah.
You know, so people have that might be a reason why they don't want to be committed. Another reason might be as instance of resources.
Mhm.
All right. So when you look at the financial implications when it comes to fine relationship, you are not the father, right?
Yeah.
But as the guy,
Mhm.
occasionally you should, all right, take care of the woman. You should take care of the woman. You should support, all right, the woman. So when people think of that commitment as regards finance, you would look at it and say, I would rather not be committed. Let's just see how it goes. So along the line, when I see I can't meet up to the standard, I'll just back out. All right. Then another thing is mindset. I'll end with this mindset. Based on our backgrounds, right? Some of us came from homes where we saw our fathers present. We saw the mom present. We saw how they made sure things work out. All right. Some persons come from homes where little hiccups, the father is on the way out, is on the run. So those things have a way of shaping the child's mind and say, okay, when I tend to be at this age, when challenges come, they don't know how to handle those challenges. So you see them on the move.
Yeah.
All right. So those mindset has a way. For me, I saw my father present. Well, I spent a few years with him anyways, but
Yes.
I saw him present. Even if he travels, he comes home. And he makes sure his wife is his number one.
Mhm.
We see that a lot. So that's shaped my mindset growing up that irrespective of what happens, you must be present in the relationship.
Thank you very much for that. Pastor, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah. I'll come from the angle of maturity.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how old you are. If you have a mature mind, I think in every relationship, even as friends, you have to be committed. Commitment in the sense that you're my friend,
Yeah.
I'm there for you.
Yeah.
So if you're matured enough, so if you know you're not matured enough, then you're not ready to be for marriage.
Yeah.
So the maturity, a matured person understand that it's used to be me, and now we're going to be two.
So it's not just
So
you.
which means I have to shoulder someone else's responsibility.
Yeah.
And this is most of the things that we get wrong. It's so you have to know that it is not now, it's not going to be only me. That selfishness of just me, you have to take it off.
Yeah.
We are going to be two, which means if she needs help, I have to be there. If it needs a shoulder to lean on, I have to be there. Then that's a commitment in general.
Yeah.
So once you're matured, you don't need to be taught. You know you have to be ready to be there for that person.
Fair enough. Thank you very much, Pastor. Brother Minari, while you were speaking, right, you mentioned something about your father. Now, this just came to me now is because I used to watch some dating shows on YouTube, and people, especially in the US, people are usually particular about people that came out of a two-parent household. Now, would you say that has an effect on people losing faith in relationship, coming out from a two-parent household or a one-parent household or no parent household, whereby you have to grow up with your relatives or your grandma or whatnot? Do you think that has an effect in people losing faith in relationship?
Yeah, for me, yes. I would say it has a big impact on people losing faith in relationship, because growing up, I saw families that the father is either on the run with the lady or has a side chick or not being at home and all that. And it shaped the mindsets because I saw this man, irrespective. Growing up, I can tell you for free, I never for once heard them argue. Fine, they had their issues, but they made sure whatever conversation ends in the room. I saw this man as a provider went all the way. I saw him, like, he literally dropped us in school every morning. So all those things as a way of shaping the child's mindset that a home is inclusive of everybody.
Okay.
But when you have people growing out of broken homes, one, you've deformed the setting.
Yeah.
Now they have a mindset of there is a place of I can walk out.
Yeah.
There is a place of I can be independent of the other.
Yeah.
So that is already building mindset of, even if they are together, you're already building mindset of I can have of my own for raining days.
Yeah.
Now you see people say I need to have investment in my name because we don't know the man, whether the man or the woman, either of them. So my father being present shaped my mindset that irrespective, this must work out. Like irrespective. I had that mindset from childhood. Though he never sat me down for once to tell me that, okay, in relationship, or well, I spent just 10 years with my dad anyways. So to tell me, he never had that chance. But I saw that, and growing up, it shaped my mind that whenever I get married or whenever I see the person, it is the person for life.
Fair enough. Thank you very much for that. Because I was just looking at it from that angle as well. Like people who, I don't know what they have learned growing up about relationships and what makes them, lose faith in it. It's like, oh, okay, my father used to do this to my mom. Why are you doing this to me? Yeah, and then kind of thing. And people like, it shapes the mentality and expectations of people as well. All right, so Pastor, I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna look at this from a different perspective now, because I think sometimes we tend to judge people based on appearance. Like you can see a brother now and say, oh, it's been too long and you still don't have a partner, you don't have a girlfriend, you don't have a boyfriend, and then you keep pressuring them, but then you don't know what they've gone through in the past. So now, can we say past trauma in relationships can affect people losing faith in relationships?
I think it's an individual opinion. On the individual, there is a part of, if I'm going to say in general, it shouldn't, I might be speaking for myself, like, oh, this is Bola. Coming like somebody that is soft, I've seen people telling me, oh, we know you are. Me, I can't take that. So I think it's what we can take. Everybody, I don't know what you went through in that relationship, and it makes you feel like, no way, I'm not going to get married again. But I'm going to come from this angle, because I always like to make a kind of scenario whereby you have a better understanding. If I lose my job, I have a boss that was terrible. And I'm like, am I going to say I'm not going to get a job again? Because, oh, maybe the other boss is going to be terrible. So let me just sit down and be sleeping. No way. Because you can see that having a good job contributes to part of your life. So you need to earn money. So it's the same thing in getting married. The Bible says there is nowhere the Bible says don't get married. It said, and two shall become one. And it was even advisable that if you think, oh, you cannot wait like this, just go and get married so you can enjoy yourself. So you cannot continue to dwell on the past trauma, because it's even going to block you from having a good relationship with human beings. Not only as love, but you don't trust people again. Because you feel like, oh, the person I even love. You've heard people saying, I love somebody, even the person I love with all my heart. It didn't really work. It talked less of you. So once they hear people talking like that, they're already moving away from even trusting human beings. And there is no how you can have an angelic help. Help comes start from men. God will send a man to you to help you. So I'm going to put this out there. If you've been through a past trauma, or you have a relationship whereby it's really hurt you, a lot of people, the only thing I used to tell people, if you are still alive, that relationship did not take you away. Because the worst that can happen, oh, he jilted you, or he took your money, you know that all this, oh, I've helped you, my sacrifice, all my savings. You can hear a lot of stories. But if you are still alive, maybe it is just an experience God wants you to pass through, so you learn, so you don't make another mistake. Or peradventure, people might not like this, what I'm about to say. Maybe God wants to use you to just help that person at that point in time. If it's financially you contributed, maybe, who knows? But it didn't work. That is not the end of the world. God always have a better place, a better plan for us.
Thank you very much, Juan. I think you can see it from an angle of, let's say you're going to a destination, right? And you get on the bus. Just say, for example, in Lagos now, maybe you're going from Ojodubega to, to the islands. You're going to go through, Ojota, Ojodu, Ogudu. You're going to go through Oworo-Shoki. But then that's not your last bus stop, right? Because the bus stops there doesn't mean you have to get off the bus. Yeah, so keep on, where you're going. And along the line, you get experience. You be like, oh, okay, I know how this bus stop looks. I'm gonna learn from this and take it to the next one. Probably tell people on there like, oh, you know what, this is happening there. Get on this bus, you might not get another bus, and so on and so forth. So if it's not your final destination, I don't think you need to get off the bus. You just keep trying again, try again. Just like Pastor said, as long as there's life, there's hope in a nutshell. Yeah. Just before we continue, please, if you have any questions for our guests, please just drop them in the comments, and we're going to go through them and then ask our guests. Okay. So, lastly, the category we are looking at the losing faith in relationship is from the lack of spiritual foundation. Maybe we should let Pastor. No. Program really go first, so Pastor can sort of bring up the spiritual perspective.
Okay, lack of spiritual foundation. All right, so there's this saying I usually put out to young folks that for you to get a right relationship, you need to get it right with God first. Because you can't claim you would love someone without your commitment and accountability to loving God. All right, so we have a lot of folks that when it comes to marriage, they want to jump on it, all right, to jump up with the person. Meanwhile, you are not standing with God. Now, let's go to Genesis. The Bible makes us understand that after creation, God fellowshiped with man. That means there is a fellowship before he even introduced a spouse. Okay, so we need to understand that it is not 0.5 plus 0.5. The Bible says it is 1 plus 1. The one being there means the ideal man, a man standing in right, like having a right standing with God, meeting a lady who has a right standing with God. Now, spiritual foundations, it has the way of you being accountable.
Yeah.
All right, because you meeting the will of God doesn't mean you would not have challenges, doesn't mean you will not have hiccups, all right? Doesn't mean you will not have rough parties on the way. But the fact that you have a relationship with God, you know what God is saying per time. It helps to sustain your relationship.
Yeah.
Now, when the person you are with or the person you're supposed to be with is going differently from what you perceive to want to stay with, you know there is a God who you can fall back on and relate with. All right, quickly, let me just share this because I remember then before we got married, I had this strong head of, no, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that, and all that. At first, my wife would bring up the conversation. I'm like, no, that's not possible, that's not me. And at one point, she stopped talking. Then I realized that she stopped talking to me, but started talking to God. Then I noticed that more of my conversations with God, my is like lashing. And I'm raising the conversation that it got to one point I had to tell her that you have reported me to God again.
Being a naughty boy.
Like, at that point, I now told her and I said, see, this relationship, if it's going to work, is between the two of us. Why? Because the foundation is God. But as for me, I've received enough lashing to know that my head must be straight and it must move in the right path. All right, so this spiritual understanding makes us know that you are not just in need for the flow or for the vibe. And even if it doesn't work out, you know you have a lover in God and a father that knows that you can never get it right. You know, my wife says this, that you can't get it right, you can't get it wrong with God. It can only be right. So when you have a relationship with God, no matter, it won't at first, as your daughter, bring your way someone who is a coconut head or the child of a Satan. No way. He will definitely bring his own son or his own daughter. Though that is subject to the daughter, that is subject to the daughter or the son working it out with the fellow, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't stop if you from being in love, enjoying the relationship, and making it to marriage, right? So spiritual foundation for me is the first. If you don't get it right with God, please don't look for any person to want to even be in a relationship with.
Fair enough.
That is my own opinion.
Thank you very much for that. That's very insightful. Pastor, can we hear it now?
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you, Brother Milari. You set the foundation,
Yeah.
so you helped me. Sincerely speaking, this has always been a debate, especially with sisters in the church. You know, when you tell them, Mary, oh, I know all the brothers, you know, they feel like people, because nowadays, sincerely speaking, some people come to church, they are not really born again.
Yeah.
They are just church goers.
Yes.
So the thing is this: either you marry somebody within the church or outside the church, a Christian.
Yes.
Once you are in your relationship before you get married, you get to know if he or she is truly a child of God.
Yes.
There is no, if you are a born again Christian yourself, you will know. There is no beating around the bush about that. Some people, even we've seen people that will say, I married a pastor child, or I married from, you know, a Christian home. And definitely you expect, no. It's Christianity or being born again is, it's your cross, individual. It doesn't mean because now my son lives, Pastor Bola's son. Oh, because this Pastor Bola's son is the born again Christian. Because he needs to meet with Jesus. So he needs his own relationship with Jesus. So even having a relationship with that kind of a person and you believe, oh, he's only thou, more than thou, you know, doesn't matter. It doesn't come that way. So you have to know the person. That this is the, how can you know the person? Your conversation. A lot of us, when we are in a relationship during our courtship, we tend to push God out of it. We are being covered by love. So most of the things we say is love, our future.
Yeah.
How many, you know, we do a lot of that conversation. But if you don't ever speak about God, you don't bring Jesus into the table, you won't be able to you won't know if the person you're getting married to even understand what it means. You know, maybe we're talking, we can talk. I'm not saying we should be holy every time you speak about Bible, no. Oh, you go, for example, you go on a date and you're talking and if things are coming and then you're asking, what about your interview you went for yesterday? And he say, I don't know, you know, I'm waiting. And then all of a sudden you just say, don't worry, we prayed about it. And the response is yes, I believe we pray. You know, but then the person is saying, I don't know. You know, that kind of thing. Already you can see that this person does not even have an understanding of God.
Yeah.
So if you're seeing that already, you don't need to be, you will know that you have a lot of work to do.
Exactly.
And then I will please plead, I'm pleading for people online, if you happen to pop on this video in future, do not say you're going to change someone after marriage.
Don't change.
It doesn't work like
Don't
that.
change.
I told somebody, I said, let me tell you, if you cannot change someone when the love is still shaky, when you are in that, because I always want to believe that it might not even be real for some people, but at least you can see everybody love each other because the man wants to get the woman, always buying flower, and you cannot ask the guy, let's go to church and follow you. And at that point in time, and now you think after he must have gotten you, now you don't carry belly.
No way.
That is when he will now follow you to church. It doesn't work that way. So don't let us say, oh, don't worry, and we're taking it step by step. I know he or she would change after we get married. It doesn't work that way. Because that is when the devil will come on. He will double the power. And then I'm going to end with this. The said one which is 1,000, two which is 10,000. If I have my own problem that I'm trying to pray about, and then I'm getting married to somebody we're coming together, don't forget that whatever is coming with, it becomes yours.
Yes.
Then you are all going to be the only one to face it. And then you'll be tired. But if two of you can go on your knees together, you have an understanding that there is somebody up there that we can talk to, then it makes the journey very easy. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that, Pastor. I hope we've learned a couple of things from what both our guests have said. I've got the next question, right? And just a top of my head, I'm thinking, what we have spoken, right? And I would just like to know, has there been a point for a season where you just start back and I'm giving up on relationship? If you ask me, yes, there has been so many seasons like that. That you know what, I'm done. I'm just gonna find my way to the Vatican City
Oh.
and serve whatever Pope is there, and just consecrate my life to Christ, But then you have to try again, just like I said last time, like, that's not where you want to be. There's still like a destination you like to go to, so you just try again, you jump on the bus and keep going. So tell us, Brother Malari, has there been any season where you get, maybe they broke your hearts? I don't know. You look like a very happy guy. The one that breaks people's hearts. So maybe they broke your heart, but you're like, I'm not doing it again. So tell us, please.
Okay. Actually, I have an experience, and so there's this lady. Yeah, I've been. I think that was before service. I think that was my final year. Yes, final year preparing for service. So there's this lady that we've been friends since JS1. So we like real intimate friends that our family, okay, I know virtually every member of our family, like they know me so well. She knows my siblings, she knows my, like, that very close. All right, so fast forward to service here. Even during university, she tried getting a relationship, he kept comparing them to Damilare, also all those stories. So finally, I was like, will I end service and will I end final year university and I'll be going out single? No, now. I've been with this lady for, I think then we've been friends for like 10 years. So I was like, she's good, she's fine, and all that. And I thought dreams. Yeah, two dreams. Like first it was myself and the lady, another myself, the lady with two kids, So I was like, this is a go now. Let's move. So I spoke with her, and she gave me a response, and we started a relationship. Then 3 weeks after, I started feeling troubled in my spirit. And fast forward to cut the long story short, that's how God told me that this is good, it's different from this is the best. So I should end the relationship. Now I've been with this lady, we've known ourselves for 10 years. At that point, I just said, okay, so at this point, we are not doing again. Because where exactly, I'm going to service here, I was posted to the north, I was posted to Jos. So where on earth will I even see somebody? You understand? Like, where on earth will I see somebody? Now, I've known this lady, we've literally planned a lot of things, praying even for the future and all that. So, in my head, how on earth will I start? Like, with who? How? Like, how will I even approach a lady? So, at that point, I zeroed my mind that, this service I'm going is just me and my God, and let's just enjoy ourselves and let's just, have fun and be fine and all that. Nothing relationship, nothing like that at all. So I had that. It was a real stuff, like tedious stuff because it got to a point that we won't speak over the phone. This lady will send me messages. There are times that the voice note is crying, and I'll be like, but there's nothing I can do. The person I'm accountable to has said I should end it. So I made up my mind that there's nothing that is going to be a relationship in my matter. And to make it that, to the point that it was when I was praying for a successful in service here, the person I went over to, that God had to infuse relationship in that prayer. That said, okay, the person you will hand over to is going to be your wife. In my head, I'm like, who sent you to come and tell me relationship? We have said in serving you, we are doing. Leave relationship, all right? So I got to that point and it was a very difficult stuff because I was broken. I cried, yes, because I've been with somebody who, it's like starting afresh, all right? And but thankfully, it did not take too long for me to heal from that and for me to find the love of my life. Now she's my wife. And
hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Well done. So You mentioned that it was a 10 years relationship.
Yeah. No, not 10 years of friendship. Relationship didn't last up to a month.
Oh wow.
Wow.
So even though sometimes I think some of us just cross that line and be like, oh,
Yeah.
we've been friends for too long, let's take the steps of
Yeah,
that's
You know,
you're just setting yourself up for a failure. Just keep it as it is. But then it might seem as failed commitment. What do you think?
well, for me, to be honest, I was pretty sure I was doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mentioned I had two different dreams of this particular lady. Myself, the lady, family setting. So for me, it was a go, like no form of obstacle, like everything is fine, everything is smooth. So I was not scared of commitment. Yeah, but I was, the assurance of I've seen this thing, I've seen how it works, and I have this confirmation. So at that point, I realized that having dreams is not enough for me to be confirmed, like to get that clarity and all that. So it's not commitment.
It's just what it is.
It's just what it is. It's just that.
We've got a question in the comment section on YouTube, and someone asked, "Are we using 'God told me' as an excuse to reject people we don't like?" I like to ask you.
No.
Yeah, I don't want dreaming.
No. That for me is a total no.
Yeah.
All right. No, you don't do that to any human.
Yeah.
You don't treat people. You treat people this way you want to be treated.
Yeah.
So if you don't like someone, if you're not attracted to them, why drag God into the matter? Because in the real sense, God will not even send you to someone, in quotes, that he has not worked on you to find attractiveness in the person.
Yeah.
All right. So never use "God told me" to chase away someone you don't like. Just be open. See, I'm not enjoying this thing again. All right. And the truth is, I didn't even tell this girl that God told me this is good. No. I told her that I'm not feeling this thing anymore. All right. That is not really working. I'm feeling disturbed. Not God told me. How about? It's you God told me.
All right. Thank you very much. We'll go on to the next question now.
Sorry, but God told me, as in they were in relationship.
Yeah.
And now just to
discard the person.
Yeah,
I don't feel bad because obviously God is like higher power.
You know,
so
use like God.
you get the instruction from God. God said no. You can't argue with God.
So there was a case why I asked the question. That was a scenario which I know of, whereby somebody was in a relationship, and even though they've been for quite numbers of years, but he noticed the pattern.
Okay.
Like when they were together, things were not really going fine. Even though they're not married, they were just in a relationship, and he just noticed that things were not working well for him. They broke up, so everybody was like, "Oh, that kind of couples, or not couple, husband, boyfriend and girlfriend." Let me use the word like that during courtship. Whereby a lot of people know that marriage is here. We are all coming, everybody's even saying we want to take Ashrebi. And all of them, they broke up. And everybody was like running after him. What happened, and then the guy maybe tried to fall in for the voices. You feel like, okay, conscience, and then got back into the relationship. And then, voila, things started going bad again. So he was sensitive enough. And in that, even though it's not God saying, God said, but at the point that he had to end the relationship because of that. I think in that scenario, the best thing to do is to call the person. You might not necessarily say God, but because you're a free spirit person, and you can see that it seems that there is a message coming from this relationship, it's not working, and this is that you can even ask both of you. Maybe we need to pray more, because even though we might think this is the will of God for us, it might not be, and this is why you have to go with somebody that, when we were talking about spiritual, so in the first place, the person must be spirit-filled, so whereby you have an understanding of what you're saying, and that is it. Because what I'm bringing out of this might not really be God said. It might just be some actions, some reactions, or the way God speaks to you. You're having dreams. It might even be something that
you really need to relate to the girl, or the girl needs to relate to the boy, that this is happening. Do you notice this is happening to us? I think this is not working. Let's pray about it. Maybe we'll have to go our separate ways. And then you go in a peaceful and friendly manner.
All right. Thank you very much, Pastor, for that. I hope we've heard not to use what said to describe people.
Nah.
You know, to say what it is. Like, I can't do this anymore. I can't. You know, give them valid reasons. You know, and why you're saying that, to be sure not to sort of damage them in the process. Don't look down on them, or don't sound very condescending by passing that information. All right. So quickly, Pastor, I want you to tell us what role does faith play when things start to get difficult in relationships? Just very quickly.
Oh, it plays a huge part of your, because sincerely speaking, at times there is not much you can do with talking and fighting. The Bible says, on my knees I move mountain. When things are difficult and it gets to a situation that you're tired, you just feel like it's not working. You've complained, you've called people. You know, at times in a relationship, you even comment or call parents, you know, still it's not working. It seems as if then you just turn to God, because He's the only one that can help. You just go on your knees and say, in your hands. There was one statement that somebody said that he told God, you can't, if I fail, then that means you also fail. So you call him and tell him, you know, this people have seen it too. And this is the person you've given me, according to your word. So if this is not going to work, then it shows that you are not God. And I know you are God. And just, it might take a bit of a time, just with patience. Things might fall back in place.
All right. Thank you very much for that, Pastor. Brother Malari.
Yeah.
So, I'd like to ask you, what would you say are the foundations of a healthy, faith-centered relationship? The foundation.
Foundation.
Yeah, just like
Okay. A fair, healthy relationship. I think number one is individual relationship with God. All right, individual relationship with God as one, basic and most important. Then two is trust. All right, then communication. After communication, because when there's trust, there's transparency, then integrity.
Yeah.
Yes, you must be a person of integrity. Those are just the four, for me.
For you, yeah.
Yes, four solid stuff that should be obtainable in any relationship.
Okay. Pastor, do you have anything to add to that? Maybe like respect.
Okay.
Yeah.
You must have the same
Value.
values. Yeah, that's what you synchronize. You must be able to
Be on the same page.
be on the same page. You understand, even though at first it might not really be, it might not work that way.
Yes, it might
But
not
as time goes, as time goes on,
Yeah.
you understand.
All right. Thank you. Now let's talk about red flags. Yeah.
Red flags.
Yeah, I mean, we, the young ones that are, giving it that time, red flags, and there are some things people tend to sort of ignore for the fear of being alone. To be honest, I've been in that position myself. No, I'm never going to lie. And it was recently, for the fear of being alone, I ignored so many red flags just for the comfort, from what I'm getting from that relationship. Because it's like, if I lose it, I'm going to be, alone. So what do you think are some of the red flags people sort of ignore for the fear of being alone?
Okay.
So you can know, like, okay, this is happening, I need to sort of look past it.
In a relationship,
Yeah.
Okay, I think one of the most significant red flag you should look at is basic commitment. Yeah, because if I tell you I would do this, and for any reason I don't have the capacity to do that, I should be able to communicate why I am not doing it or why I couldn't achieve that. All right. So when you see that the person keep dropping the ball when it comes to commitments, commitments to each other, not financially now, commitments to each other, like being there, being like open and all that, and you're not, and he or she keeps dropping the ball, then it's a red flag, because when bigger challenges or bigger issues come, that is how the person is also going to drop the ball. All right. Two, red flag is when someone keeps on every conversation and says, let's see how it goes. Or let's see how it will turn out. All right, so we are having a conversation.
Let's go with the flow.
Yes, you want to make a plan. And like, oh, let's just leave it to auto run. No, life is not on autopilot. Life runs on plans. Right. So when someone keeps telling you, let's just see how it goes, it's a red flag, because how it goes might be how it goes, and you are seeing on Instagram another person's picture. All right. Yes, that's how it is going. All right. Okay. Then thirdly, as a wrap up, as red flag is insecurity. So when you see that the person you're with is insecure. Secure in the sense that you can't grab any altar of doubts along someone, and you are instantly picking it up, and you're trying to you want to you have it, like you have a critical spirit, always wanting to, you are insecure with he's on his phone, or she's on her phone, or she's going out on doing this, why you with this person, always critical. For me, it's a big red flag. Why? Because if we're going to be the last relationship, you should be able to trust me and not be insecure. And if you have any issues why you don't trust me, then you should ask questions. So when you're not asking questions and you're feeling insecure, it's a red flag.
All right. Thank you very much for that. I'd like to add that, insecurity, I think it's up to the other person to sort of put you in a position where they feel secure. Do you get what I mean? So it's not like we're in a relationship, but then you're flirting with other people. It makes the other person feel insecure as well. So I think it's both parties. All right. Pastor, quickly, I'm gonna ask you, because we are running out of time. How do you know when a relationship is aligned with your faith and purpose?
From the beginning, you will know when you have a kind of connection, synergy, whereby whatever you speak to the person about, he or she understand. Oh, maybe I'm a woman of faith, like, okay, and I just have to discuss, like, please, this is what I'm planning to do, like a plan. And it just kind of, you might not agree with me 100%, but it's okay. I think it's not that bad, Let's put it to God. He's not saying no. He's not going to work with me because I have my own plans too. Why do you say that each party are having different plans?
There's going to be chaos.
There will be chaos. So there is no alignment. There is no way you're meeting up. He's not working with you. So then you have to be careful and say, okay, I think we have to see what we are doing here. Because I tell people, couples, don't forget that we have everybody has that thing imbued, whereby I have my own thing I'm bringing to the table. You have your own you're bringing. So don't, because of you're not ready for mine, then you kill it completely. So you should be able to give a room. So we can. So once I say that you always push yours to me, and I'm not able to push mine, or you agree at a point with mine, then that means there is a problem. Because if you go with that relationship, I don't know how you're going to survive. That means someone would have to go down, definitely, for their and it doesn't work that way. That is not how a relationship, God ordained relationship, has to be. I'm not talking about finance, money, but I'm just talking about whatever it is that we have an opinion, we both have it. If it's not coming together, and it's always one person's plan, idea that overrules, then I think you have to have a second opinion, whereby you really need to sit down and really, really table that and talk about it. Otherwise, it's not going to work. Definitely.
Thank you very much. But just really quick, because we're out of time.